Welcome back, guys, for another Gamebug review. This time we're going to be talking about Megaman 11. Now, I'll say that clearly like a normal person, Mega Man 11. Now, what can I say about this game? Let's start off by saying that if you've played Mega Man for the last 30 years, the baseline Mega Man series, you'll know exactly what to expect from this game. If you've never played it, that's a good thing. If you have played it, it just depends if you want exactly what you've been playing or if you were looking for something new. So let's just jump in. So concept, basically same old thing. Dr. Wily comes. He's a jerk. He takes over the robots. Whilst Dr. Light is doing some maintenance on Blockman and Fuse Man and Torchman and all the mans. Dr. Wily comes in and basically corrupts them, and Mega Man has to go and stop them. And so he's got this thing that he got rejected for back in college called the double gear system. And Dr. Light was like, no, this is too bad because it'll overwork the machines or some crap like that. Anyway, what does Mega Man need to stop them? The double gear system. And he's like, no, Mega Man, you can't use this. It'll, blah, blah, blah. Mega Man's like, I can take it. So yes, there's actually voice acting, but we'll get to that in a minute. So story-wise, it's pretty average. It's nothing special. But again, like I've said in the Mega Man Collection reviews, these games don't really require much of a story, let's be honest. Like, you're after the gameplay, and that's where the gameplay is what shines most. So concept story, it does its job, Let's be honest, it's nothing groundbreaking, and that's probably the theme of this review, is nothing groundbreaking. So let's move on to the graphics. Now, you'll either love them or hate them. I'm probably 70-30, like 70% love it, 30% not so much. I think the animations and the actual look of the characters are, is really top notch. Like it's cool anime style, very crisp. Everything pops on the screen. There's a couple of environments that look a bit bland, especially everything in the foreground, all the blocks and stuff. It looks very, very generic, but the reason for that is it's trying to fit in with the style of the old NES games. And so the platforming elements have to retain that sort of, precision jumping and stuff like that. So everything just looks a bit plain. I would have liked a bit more detail in that, but I do like some of the backgrounds. Blockman's is really cool. Acid Man. Trying to think who else had a really good back. I like Fuse Man's background as well, with the big electrical towers in the background. It's really creepy vibe. Something like Impact Man, that level gets a bit bland. So yeah, it's just personal preference, to be honest, but it's really crisp. I was playing this on the Switch. I've played it on the PS4 as well, and they both look just as good as each other. You probably on the 4K consoles, you'll get a 4K image, but unless you're playing on a 4K TV, it won't really make much difference. So yeah, visually, it does the job. It does the job. And I'm glad that they didn't just do it like Mega Man 9 and 10 and just do the NES 8-bit style, because I'm kind of sick of that style, to be honest. So moving on to gameplay. Gameplay is exactly what you would expect if you've played the first 10 entries of the Mega Man series. The only difference is that double gear system. So you can either slow down time, which obviously lets you shoot faster, make your jumps a bit more precise when you've got to land on something that's moving. Then you've got the power gear, so you can basically deal double damage, and your shots are, a lot more stronger. But gameplay is exactly the same. You defeat a boss, you take their power, and you can then use that power on another boss that has that as a weakness. So, for example, if you fight Acid Man, he's weak against Blockman's attacks, and you got to figure out which attack works best on another boss to defeat them easily. And then a good thing is because a lot of the stages are very trickly. That's not even a word. It's not a word, but they're very the platforms are very strategically placed, and same with the enemies. And now just using your Buster might not get the job done. So sometimes using one of the boss enemies' powers is very beneficial, especially Blockman's. I find that his power is really cool to clear out some things at a distance, and even things that are flying towards you. So it's good. It's what you expect. And I think it's a great entry for newcomers because there is there's actually 4 difficulty modes. There's the newcomer, casual, normal, and then there's the hard difficulty. And this game is really hard. It'll kick your ass. It kicks my ass. I tried playing it on normal, and unless you get the boss patterns down, it's a tough time. So I've been playing not on the newcomer, but on the casual mode, which is slightly easier. You still die if you hit the spikes, you still die if you fall in the hole, but it just makes it a little bit more easy. So moving on to sound. Now, Mega Man's always had like iconic music. I wouldn't say the music is iconic on this entry. It's good, but it takes a back seat. It's not very prevalent. Like, you won't hear it blasting through. It sort of sits a bit back in the mix. But what's there is still good. The only problem is the voice acting is terrible. Mega Man's voice himself, particularly, is the worst. Roll and Dr. Light, they're alright. Whatever. They do the job. And it's going for like a very anime style, so they're not going to have these, brilliant voice actors. They want it to be a bit more kiddie, but I think they've over-exaggerated a bit in some of these voices. So, not so great, but again, who cares? They don't talk much unless it's a tiny little cutscene. So, what do we got next? The awesomeness section. Now, normally this section is what I would talk about, like a key feature of a game that another game doesn't showcase, or something that just draws me into it. And unfortunately, it doesn't have anything that really differentiates itself apart from the double gear system. I mean, you can buy upgrades for Mega Man, you can buy E-Tanks and stuff like that, but there's no real like collectibles or anything. And they got leaderboards, and there's like a little gallery to look through some artwork, but I don't know, it feels like they could have done more with this entry. I just feel like, I don't know. And this is the problem, because I think purist fans would say, like, don't touch the formula, leave it as it is. The additions they put in don't really, throw it off, because you don't need to use them if you don't want to. But I still think that they could have just done so much more with this. Hell, even a 2-player mode would have been cool, especially on the Switch. But I don't know. I think it's good foundation, but I think that Mega Man needs a new, fresh reimagining, I guess. So maybe that will come in a title that's completely separate to the mainline series. But unfortunately, there's nothing that really will make you go, oh my god, this is the greatest Mega Man ever. So in saying all that, my final word, it's still a great game. It's still really fun to play. It's great for pick up and play, especially on the Switch. I love the portability, obviously, of the Switch, and this game sort of suits that perfectly. But yeah, if you're looking for something that is completely different and drives the series forward, you're not going to get that. You're just going to get what you expect as playing those previous titles, just with a nice new coat of paint and a nice new mechanic that doesn't really offer more, but it is fun. I do like using it. So yeah, guys, I think if you've never played a Mega Man game, this is a great one to jump into and see what it's all about. But if you're wanting something new, maybe give the demo a try, because there is a demo on all the consoles, and that's a good way to see exactly what it's got on offer. But yeah, thanks for checking out this review. And for everything Gamebug, go to our website, www.gamebug.com.au, and you can check us out on Instagram and on Facebook. Just search GamebugAU. You obviously can see this on our YouTube channel or on our website. Check us all in there, like, subscribe, share, do all that jazz. And thanks for checking it out. Bye!